Welcome into the Cowboys Report. We are here at Radio Row at the NFL Combine. Myself, producer Sam, behind the scenes as well. Mike McCarthy has finished up his press conference, his first media availability. Only one he'll have. He actually just flew in, by the way. Now, we are not going to be done at the Combine just because McCarthy's had his press conference. We'll have more videos for you guys here throughout the week on the Dallas Cowboys. So if you haven't already, now's a great time to subscribe. It's all free here on the Cowboys Report. Hit that subscribe button right now. Let's break down some of the notable takeaways from McCarthy's press conference. Then we'll talk Jalen Carter, since so many of you have asked about that already. The big takeaway is Mike's change of the offense is a little bit higher than what Dak Prescott had said it was going to be. Mike said somewhere in the 30 to 35% ballpark is what's going to change now that he is taking over as the play caller, that Brian Schottenheimer is in as the new offensive coordinator. Mike, of course, will be calling the plays. That's been made very clear multiple times by McCarthy, by the Joneses, etc. here. The terminology, this is the big note for me. The terminology, the language, how the play calls are relayed, what they mean, is not going to change. So it's not a complete teardown. It's going to be more along the lines of the philosophy, some of the calls themselves. That's what's changing for this Cowboys team moving forward. It's not going to be a totally new offense. There's going to be changes, adjustments, but the language not changing is a significant deal. In theory, that will lead to a quicker adjustment time, not just for your quarterback with Mike McCarthy taking over, but all the other players returning to this roster, whether it's your offensive linemen, your running backs, your receivers. That is going to make life easier on them when it's all said and done. It is a significant update on that front. Now, again, I think that's going to mean more philosophical. In theory, you stop the 5-yard curl routes over and over that were a staple of the offense, especially down the stretch last year for extreme, frustrating ways. I think it will also lead to more slant flats. I think it will be more of a West Coast offense. And we'll get more into this in a little bit here. I do think McCarthy wants to run the football even more than what he did last year. I think there were disagreements between Mike and Kellen. There's no way around that. You don't move on from an offensive coordinator who statistically helped lead a top 5 offense under his watch and go, yeah, we were best friends. Like, that's just not how it's going to work. Mike said he likes having change every couple of years. It's important to adjust and learn. That's all very fair. The pressure is now on Mike McCarthy, because if the offense doesn't perform well, if it's worse than what it was last year, well, the quarterback stayed the same, but the play caller didn't. And that would be your big change on that front there. So our pinned comment today, of course, a lot more to come here on Mike McCarthy. Do you trust McCarthy calling the plays for the Dallas Cowboys? Y for yes, N for no. Head down to the pinned comment and let me know what you guys think. If an ad break comes on YouTube, cool, ignore the ad. No one cares. Get your votes in at that pinned comment. Y for yes, N for no. Back to the running back side of things, Mike did speak about balance again, and he made comments about how he thought this team was more complementary than the previous years have been. And the big change was they did run the football more. Their defense was also better than what it was at the beginning of his tenure in Dallas as well. But the takeaway I had there was McCarthy wants to run the football more, and he wants to turn the ball over less, which, yeah, of course you want to turn the football over less there. It's also worth mentioning the majority of those turnovers came on third down, oftentimes because your quarterback was trying to make too big of a play because it was third down. The ground game wasn't working all that well. My hope here, as it's been for the entire time when it comes to this offense and the changes they're making with McCarthy, with Prescott, etc., is that the new voice, quote-unquote, ends up helping. That the singular voice in the room and not the Kellen Moore voice, and still remnants of the Jason Garrett voice and Linehan voice, or maybe with just McCarthy in charge, that will help. Now, look, there's still going to be remnants of the previous voices, but hopefully just McCarthy being in charge will be impactful. I do think you'll see more runs from McCarthy, or at least the desire to run the football more. You know, when you're averaging 2 yards per carry, it's not going to go that well in the end. Mike did say he's having more fun, by the way, as well, that he's enjoying it more than he did originally now that he's in charge of the offense and the play callers. The question is as to whether or not Kellen was forced upon Mike or whether Mike actively wanted Kellen more will never really go away, but that's another thing I go, Maybe Mike didn't want Kellen in the first place. Now, today's Cowboys Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health. I want a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel prepared to take on my day. Once I have baby Olivia all set up with her breakfast, I make my own AG1. I don't feel the need for caffeine in the morning anymore, and I feel energized throughout the day. Plus, AG1 empowers the gut for whole body health. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be any easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I mix one small scoop of AG1 with water, drink it first thing each morning. Done just like that, and I like that it costs less than $3 a day, by the way. It's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients, making it the old win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Perfect if you're going to, say, Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out, folks. Links in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's move now to the quarterback side of things. Dak Prescott, as Mike McCarthy came out pretty unequivocally and said this offense is going to be built around Dak Prescott, which, for the record, should not be a surprise. I know there are I'll still use the term truthers for all of it, who don't want that to be the case, but Mike's been pretty consistent in his messaging since he took over as the Cowboys head coach. He believes in Dak Prescott. He wants him to be the guy. He thinks he is the guy. And they're going to continue to build that organizational philosophy and play calling, et cetera, around him. Now, again, hopefully that new voice aspect benefits Dak. I think there were times that it wasn't good enough. There were too many mistakes, too many interceptions. And were those all Dak's fault? No, of course. I mean, we've been down that game where Noah Brown drops the ball off his chest and it's a pick six and Cowboys lose against the Jags. But overall, this offense and this team is not anticipating massive changes in terms of the Mike McCarthy-led influence. It's going to be different. I think more in the design and what you choose to call, but it's not going to be a completely overhauled offense that looks recklessly different, like you just hired Andy Reid. It's not going to be like that. It'll be different, hopefully different enough to get the results we all crave in the postseason, but I don't think it's going to be a colossal change because it doesn't need to be. Your offense isn't far away. I know there are some who just want to look at one game, and I get the lack of playoff success is for 27 years all goes on one team's shoulders. That's not fair. That's how it works. I get it. They're not that far off. Just got to be a little bit better. Steven's new buzzword is one click better. Yeah, you do need to be one click better. Helps if you have a few more players to get you to be one click better, but you're not that far off. So what is your confidence level in Dak Prescott? Scale this for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. You guys can sound off in the comment section. Some other thoughts here before we get into Jalen Carter from Mike McCarthy's press conference. He's kind of hyped the young guys a little bit, which isn't a huge surprise. Verbally mentioned DaRon Bland, Sam Williams, others. Said the second, third-year guys are going to count on for growth that they're banking on. This has been, again, a consistent theme from what McCarthy said for a build through the draft team as the Cowboys are. They're banking on those second and third-year guys to step up. So hopefully Jalen Tolbert falls in that category. DaRon Bland, Sam Williams, Micah Parsons, of course, has already stepped up, but you would love it if one of those corners, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, emerged. Not sure that's the most likely outcome in the end. Hoping for the year 3 breakout from Osa Odigizua. That would be ideal. This is still going to be a build through the draft philosophy, regardless of the buzz and whispers of Cowboys working on something big. Yeah, I know that's out there. I will believe it when I see it, because we've been down this road before. They'll have conversations. I have no doubt about that. I got to see the big thing before I think it actually ends up happening, by the way. Mike was also very happy, to the surprise of no one, that Dan Quinn is back as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Also very much worth mentioning, by the way, that Dan Quinn has been kind of in charge of some of these early prospect meetings. Mike did not get in right away. He made the comment he only just got in on his flight. Quinn has been the one in charge of all these defensive player meetings so far. We'll talk about some more of them on a future video, break down the names and players we have so far. Felix DK Uzama, DeMarvion Overshone, etc. We'll spend more time on that in the future. But the big news of the day from the NFL, because there's always something here at the Combine that kind of shocks everybody in the end, and this one was unique. Jalen Carter left the Combine today because an arrest warrant was issued over the unfortunate accident in Georgia that took the life of one of his teammates, injured others. The accusation claim, allegedly, whatever buzzword we want to put in there to make clear that it's not official yet, but that's what the police are saying, was that Jalen Carter, potentially under the influence a little bit, was street racing in the process when that car crashed and killed his teammate, which is not very good. So the timing was unique because Carter was set to have his media press conference just over there. We were going to have the video for you guys for it about 25 minutes before that or after that news broke. Then they did not bring out the rest of the defensive linemen for that 25-minute period. There was supposed to be a group before him. Did not happen. I think there was some scrambling in the background for Jalen Carter. So we don't really know what his future holds right now. He's put out his own statement stating he's going back to clear his name in Athens. It's pretty horrible timing for Carter at the biggest job interview of his life, and it does now put his draft status in doubt. There's also a very long way to go until the NFL draft. You're talking, you've got, let's just say 2 months to go, almost full 2 months before the draft. This will get sorted out. We'll figure out exactly what this means for Carter, both off the field, in terms of draft rooms, his draft stock, etc. Another question of, could the Cowboys get him? I don't know. Anyone telling you they do know doesn't. They're lying or guessing recklessly. We just have to wait. I know that's not fun. I know we don't want to wait. That's not what we typically like to do, but you just have to be patient here. So we'll find out about Jalen Carter. It's all a question mark right now in light of the incident in Athens. So wait and see on that front. We will have more coverage for you guys right here at the Combine, so if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed.